Journalist and mum of two, Amanda Goff, made headlines earlier this week after going public as a high-class call girl on Sunday night. The 40-year-old, who charges up to $5,000 a night for sex, says she believes her services are helping save marriages.
What's your job?
To make them feel desired, and to make them feel listened to and heard.
Why do you believe that you're saving marriages?
Where else are men going to go? Where else are they going to have that outlet, you know? I'm happy to be that outlet because I'm happy that I make them happy, so they go home happy.
Now, statistics reveal 56% of men who have affairs are in fact happily married. So is there some truth to Amanda Goff's argument, or is it never okay to stray? For more, we're joined by sexologist Elaine George. Elaine, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hi.
All right, here's the big question. Can affairs help save marriages?
My answer would be no. Dealing with an affair is an emotional dynamite, and I've seen couples deal with and pick up the pieces, but it's very rare that couples can actually, get over an affair because it breaks the trust. It shatters that foundation of trust that you have in a marriage. And it's not just sexual either. It can be a breach in emotional intimacy.
Well, that's right, because some people argue that people cheat just purely to satisfy what is a physical urge, and it doesn't involve emotions. But can it really be so black and white?
I don't think so, Carly. Again, we know that term that, oh, I'm just using that buddy for sex. But the reality is that the two are blurred. You can't really separate emotional intimacy from physical intimacy. And my own take is that if you're, sharing the pillow and you're doing sort of various acts with one another, there's going to be a degree of emotion that is invested and shared.
We said earlier 56% of men who cheat are happily married, but I suppose if they're looking elsewhere for sex, that can't be true.
No.
Not in the true sense of happily married.
No. Well, it questions that whole notion of what constitutes a happy marriage. And the reality is for everybody is that once that limerence phase, that romantic phase is gone, which, lasts about 18 months, 2 years, which coincides when people get a mortgage, their first child, etc., is that everybody has to face the everydayness of what living is all about. Domesticity kills passion. But then so many people try and find that passion elsewhere without finding it in their own relationship. And I think it's important to look at it and look at the resilience within their own relationship.
What do you mean by that? Look at the resilience within your own relationship.
What I think is so important is that people don't look at their own emotional well-being. People don't look at what is it that I'm contributing to this marriage, rather than wanting everything fixed by their own partner. It comes back to looking within themselves. And this is something that Amanda said on Sunday night, that, she was really suffering from post-divorce, then she was on RSVP and doing sex anyway and got burnt a couple of times with dates. But I think what's really important, particularly for people that are post-divorce, is they look at healing within. And then coming back to the context of a marriage, it comes back to your own happiness is within you as much as it is within the other person. And sometimes people are unhappy with themselves, and then they try and seek that happiness elsewhere.
And I think Amanda made that point, I think, on Sunday night when she said one of her clients there were 3 kids and he was number 5 on the family ladder looking for something out of that relationship. Another guy lost 15 kilos, the wife didn't notice. So there's a lot of that into it as well,
Absolutely,
right?
Larry, and that's a really good point to make. I've seen couples where the men come in and they are, the tail's between their legs because they're sad and they feel rejected. And, we all know that women can typically lose their sexual desire after children, and that's all very normal. But it's a phase that people go through. But what's so important is that men and women need to feel appreciated. They need to feel acknowledged, and they need to deal with acceptance of the everyday, living. And, it's not swinging from the chandeliers every day. But it comes back to appreciation, and appreciation is so important and can so often be ignored. We're talking about gratitude, and if people are able to express gratitude to one another, that puts a lot of emotional investment, dollars, if you like, into the piggy bank. And that's really important.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, makes sense. What steps should couples take to recover from an affair? So if something has gone horribly wrong and then they find themselves maybe sitting on your couch, what are you going to say to them?
It's a great question, and it comes back to the point that sometimes it is possible to salvage a marriage. Sometimes, and I stress sometimes, it can actually be a catalyst for the couple to rebuild what went astray in the first place. But there needs to be a lot of acceptance, patience, tolerance, resilience on both sides, and a willingness to accept that there's going to be progress and a bit of regression. Progress and a bit of regression. My other point too is that don't go and blab, don't go and tell all your family and your friends, because invariably those people make judgments. And then that makes it difficult to repair the core relationship, which is between the man and the woman, you know, in a heterosexual relationship. And that's what's so important, is that they rebuild their trust and the emotional intimacy, and it takes time. Seek assistance from a third party, because you can't do it all yourself, and set goals, and set mini goals and then longer term goals, and work towards repairing it. And it can be done. I've seen it work really beautifully, but it does take courage.
Do you see couples that come in and sit on your couch and go, "You're broken, it's too far gone"?
You do. And one of the most frustrating things where, you know, whether people are psychologists, therapists, counsellors out there in the area of relationships, is that often people wait to the 13th hour and it's too late.
Right.
Yeah, so often it's important to be proactive, and, you know, again, an affair can be something that can be a tool to help people recover, but often even that's too late.
Yeah, sure. All right, Elaine, thanks for your time this morning.
You're welcome.
And we want to hear from you. Can affairs save marriages? In your opinion, you can head to the Morning Show website and vote in our online poll.